We're talking Starfield today, and seeing as it's been a month since the release of this highly anticipated RPG, I figure I should probably take the time to open this limited edition controller that shipped alongside the game. What's going down, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ricari, and sitting here right in front of me is the Starfield limited edition Xbox wireless controller. And we are finally ready to unbox this thing, even though I'm hours into the campaign already. But as they say, better late than never, right? Now, this controller dropped back in June. Again, don't judge me for not opening it, and was part of the hype train that led up to Starfield's launch, featuring transparent triggers allowing you to see the rumble motors inside, a bronze metallic D-pad, two-tone grips, and an overall design that's reminiscent of a spaceship's hull. This limited edition controller is the perfect addition to any collection like mine, the perfect companion to Starfield. Now, speaking of limited editions, pop quiz hotshot, can you tell me the difference between limited edition and special edition controllers? Time's up. Let's talk about it. Limited editions are unique design patterns available in super limited quantities and often near impossible to get after their initial supply runs out. Special editions, on the other hand, are also unique designs but are available for longer, usually not sold out for months or even years on end. All right, you know that. Enough chit chat. I'm ready to open this thing up, and that means I have to do my housekeeping bit really quick before it's too late, before I forget. Like I mentioned at the top, my name is Ricari, and I enjoy collecting and unboxing things, specifically gaming controllers, consoles, peripherals, and more. So if that's the type of content that you're into, I'd like to invite you to look just below the video player at that little subscribe button. Click it, ring the bell while you're at it so you can get notified whenever I drop a new video. Of course, for those of you returning to the channel, you know the drill. Welcome back, good to see you. So glad you came through for another unboxing video. With that, the housekeeping is done. Let's open this up. Can we get the spin? Oh, nearly. The thing that makes these Xbox controllers so great, this is just one pull tab and you're inside the box. That's clean. Look at that controller. This might be one of the first times that I actually want to take a second and talk about the box. Not necessarily the outside of the box. We get that, it's Starfield themed. But even when you open this box up, you see how it's got "For All Into the Starfield" written across the top there. The Constellation logo sitting on the inside of the box. Even the insert has different thematic elements that make it look like the controller, make it look like a spaceship's hull, make it look informational. All right, well, let's get the controller out of the box. I was halfway hoping for some special edition batteries. Is that too much to ask? Here it is. Where to start? It's tough to pick something that jumps out at me off the bat. There's a ton of things that I like about this controller. I do like that the white on this controller is a matte white. It doesn't have any sort of glossy or reflective finish on it. It is reminiscent of a starship's hull. Not that I would know what a starship's hull looks like, but you get the gist. Often when I get a controller like this, I'm worried about smudging it or getting something on it. I've got kids at home, I've got dogs at home. I don't want this controller to get dirty in any way, shape, or form, but the way this thing is designed doesn't feel like it will. It doesn't feel like the grit and grime of our hands will rub off on it. Looking at the thumbsticks, it's pretty cool how it's got a red base at the bottom, right, along with gray tops on there. The buttons are white with gray writing and gray inscriptions. Even the Nexus, you guys know what the Nexus is, this little Xbox logo that's on the controller that lights up when you turn it on, has this sort of frosted look that's different than the other Nexuses that I've seen. It's tough to explain without having you look at this in person and look at another one, but if you have this controller, you'll see what I mean. So the Nexus is frosted. The thumbsticks are two-tone. Actually, the back of the controller, the grips are two-tone. I don't think I've seen this on a controller before. Usually when you see the grips on the back of the Xbox controllers, it's either all black or all a singular color. Seeing a light gray go to a dark gray, it's a small detail, but it's something that differentiates this controller from others. There's the Constellation logo on the back. This is property of Constellation. If Xbox has taught me one thing, it's that I have to open the battery compartment and see if there's anything fun in there. There it is, "For All Into the Starfield." Nothing else on the inside there. It's funny, they've actually got an expansion port sort of listed at the bottom where you would plug in your headset. I never plug anything into the bottom of my controller anymore. That expansion slot's going to waste. This is the first time I've actually seen fully transparent, I'm not talking about translucent, but fully transparent triggers on a controller. And you can see, if you come in close, you can see the rumble motors in there. I wonder if I turn the controller on and make the rumble triggers rotate, if we can actually see them spin. I assume so, yeah? You know what that means. Just wasting batteries. Oh, but now I have to turn on a game, don't I? I'm touching the D-pad because it's a metallic D-pad and I wanted to see if it was cold, and it does feel that way. This controller is very flippin' nice. Can I just say that? This is up there for one of my favorite limited edition controllers available at all. You know, I talked about this shell of the controller being this almost eggshell white, right? And I love that it's got all these sort of spaceship instructions so you know what you're pressing and when. Like the one that sticks out the most to me is the left bumper saying scan on it. Unless you've remapped your controller, that is the button that you would use to scan. It's like detective mode in Arkham Knight and Arkham Asylum. Remember, you hit that every single time you could. In Starfield, I find myself scanning every single time I can. There's the controls for the throttle, the lock on. Actually, whoever did this made sure to pay attention to what their default controls were going to be. Not that you wouldn't, I guess it's one of those things that you don't think about, right? There is a narrative designer, there's somebody that wrote these instructions explicitly for this controller and said, these are what your controls are going to be in game, let's make them match. Again, unless you've been around somebody that writes these actual strings and knows these bits, you wouldn't know that they're doing that. So I'm just gonna take my moment to appreciate them and give them their flowers. Well, you know what's next then. This is the part of the video where I get to give you 60 seconds of B-roll to take a closer look at this controller for yourself, and then we'll come wrap up the video at the end. Sound good? Well, what do we think? Is this controller as hyped as it should be? Did you enjoy that look at it? Is it clean? Actually, I got a question for you and you can answer in the comments. Where does the Starfield Limited Edition Xbox Wireless Controller rank for you in all-time Xbox Limited Edition controllers? Well, let's do this generation. And for a refresher, we've seen this, the 4 different controllers that came out alongside Space Jam: A New Legacy, with the Toon Squad, Goon Squad, Serververse, and Roadrunner vs. Wile E. Coyote LEs, the Halo Infinite LE, and finally the real competition, the Forza Horizon 5 LE. Really, we're only talking about that last one if I'm being honest. Does this Starfield LE Xbox wireless controller with its transparent triggers, whole theme, and bronze D-pad take down the king? All right, well that's all I've got for you today. I appreciate you swinging by the channel and checking out another unboxing video. There's more to come, I promise you that. So if you haven't yet, make sure to click that subscribe button to follow the channel. You know the drill, ring the bell for notifications. I'll be back soon with more, so until then, take care and I will catch you the next time. All right, y'all.